I enjoy doing that story with the children, of turning water to wine. And I have told this story before, but some of you know Bishop King, and he used to be the bishop of the church, but he was traveling, and I believe he was in West Africa, and he was doing a talk and did this demonstration. And there was a translator translating what he was saying, because they had different language than he was sharing it in. And when he turned the water into wine, he poured the water out, everyone was like, wow, and amazed and totally overwhelmed. And he's like, well, told the translator, tell them I didn't really turn the water into wine. And the translator says, he turned the water to wine. Why give up a good miracle, right? Well, today we're going to talk about love. What is love? If I asked you to define that, would you have an easy time doing that? I think it's hard when you're asked to put words to what love is. It's difficult to do. In the book Conjugal Love or Married Love, it's written that people know that love exists, but they do not know what love is. People will use the term, well, he or she loves this person or that person, and it's commonly used in conversations. It's describing how someone feels, right? But even though it's used so frequently, he writes that nevertheless, scarcely anyone knows what love is. He says you can even meditate on it. Meditate on what love is, but it's hard to really come up with a thought about how you would explain it to somebody. Well, the writings explain it very simply, that love is your life. Love is your life. On the deepest level, our love is who we are. It's our very life. It's at the core of who we are. It's what inspires us to do anything. It's what drives us. So feelings and things that we delight in and enjoy give us some clues about what our core love is. So you can pay attention to that a little bit. Thoughts that we delight in, and I'm being very specific about that because thoughts come in all the time from different sources, heaven and hell, and you're not this origin of them. But if you delight in it, then that's a clue that that's something that tells me about myself. Also, our actions, our deeds, our words give us some clue about what our ruling love is too. And they all are driven by our love, by our life. So the question to ask ourselves is, what is the nature of our own love? What is our love like? If that love is good, if we have a good love at our core, we will want to love others than just ourselves. We want to be connected with other people. We'll want to be one with others. We'll be devoted to the happiness of others as well. If our core love is not good, we'll just love ourselves. And we want to be with others if they will serve us and do what we want. If they can make us happy in some way, then we love them. But if they don't, we reject them. We turn away from them. So just saying love doesn't mean that it's good, right? Because we all tend to identify what we love as good. Why would I love it if it wasn't good, right? We all know that we have to, though, if we're honest with ourselves, that we have to work on our core love, that it might need some improvement. It can be selfish, it can be hateful, it can be vengeful. It can also be very kind, very generous, but that depends on who we are and what we've done to work on our spiritual life. But we're told our ruling love rules everything. And we are works in progress. So bear that in mind as well. So that's why I wanted today to talk about love and friendship together. Because looking at love through the lens of friendship is a good way to see the quality of our love. How our love manifests. How does our love manifest in the world? How does it show up? So friendship, we're told, is a key ingredient. It's what gives love its nutritional value, if you will. So you might ask yourself, am I a good friend to my partner if you're in a relationship? If my relationship is suffering, am I going down the road of pursuing friendship with your partner, and deepening that will help it? Think of it this way. If you're a jerk or unkind to your friends, you soon won't have very many friends, right? And if they are that way to you, you soon will say, I don't want to spend time with them. It's just not worth it. So why would it be okay in a marriage or a loving relationship to treat people that way? But sometimes we do. So the simplest formula for strengthening friendship or love is the golden rule, which is written this way: so in everything, do to others as you would have them do to you. This is a summary of the law and the prophets. As it says, it sums it all up. In everything. So it says, in everything, treat people the way you would like to be treated. That's a nice general way to think about it. Would I like this person to treat me this way? It's important to note as well that love, or good, true love, is from the Lord. It's not something we can create for ourselves or fashion for ourselves. We can work to create a space for it so the Lord can flow in with that love, with genuine love. We can welcome it in. But what does prevent genuine love from the Lord from flowing into us? Well, in the creation story, you have the story of Adam, and then Eve is created, and it says to Adam, you should leave father and mother and cling to your wife. And what that's talking about is leaving father and mother. It means leaving love of ourselves and love of our own intelligence. In other words, what I want is most important, and I am right. Now, if you've ever been in a relationship and you live by those rules, what I want is most important, and I am right, how does that go for you? Not so well, right? So those needs to be left. Leave father, mother. Leave those loves behind so the Lord can flow in with genuine love. So what does make a marriage or a relationship work? Well, two people who are devoting themselves to caring for the other person. Another thing that we're taught in conjugal or married love is it's according to the state of the church in a person. I love to talk about this with couples. Like, if you want to have all those wonderful romantic feelings that you long for in your relationship, here's the key. Get spiritual. Get religious. Work on your spiritual life. That love is according to the state of the church in you, meaning am I living by the Lord's commandments? When I do that, the Lord can flow in with genuine love and bless me. So how do we do it? We keep the commandments. So we need to cultivate that relationship, and when we do, it opens the mind to the higher cause of love. And when two people are doing it, a special love results. You know, if just one person is working on the relationship and the other doesn't care, or isn't working on it, it doesn't really happen for them. We're also told that one person can have conjugal love and one person might not, even though they're in the same relationship, because it's according to whether they are living a spiritual life or not. But if two people are in the same, that's awesome. So maybe you are blessed to be in a relationship which you can work on your relationship with, or maybe you're in one but you're struggling. The hard stuff is outweighing the blessing, and that's how it feels to us, like, this is just hard. It's not really worth it to me at the moment. Or if we don't have a relationship, we're not in a relationship, how do we prepare to receive one? Or if we have one, but that person is in the other world, what do we do? The answer is we work on becoming a better person. That's true across the board. Be a friend to what is good. Be a friend to kindness. That is always the answer to any of those scenarios. Because we want to give to someone that we love the best of ourselves. And the way that we do that is by working on our spiritual life. Moving away from caring just about ourselves opens our eyes to what the Lord might be trying to inspire us to do. So in all cases, the answer is to cultivate as well friendship. Friendship is the basis for married love or true married love. So if you're single, cultivate friendships with other people. That's how we learn the foundation for a future committed relationship. Get to know others. Get to know what qualities to look for. Be a good friend. And demand that your friends are good to you as well. People often talk about marrying their best friend. That's the ideal, isn't it? Be married to your best friend. But we're taught that friendship is like the face and clothing of love. And why do the writings say that? That friendship is the face and clothing of love. Well, they say it's the face because it's the doorway to love. It's how you access love. If you want a deep, lasting relationship, friendship is the doorway to it. So ask yourself when you're in a relationship, how would a friend deal with this situation? How would a friend act? Because we can forget that sometimes when we're caught up in anger or frustration in a relationship. We don't act very kindly. But we need to choose a higher way. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and Star Silverman, some of you might know Ray and Star Silverman, they wrote the book Rise Above It about the Ten Commandments. But they were talking about marriage in this podcast, and she had talked about how her father had served in World War II. And he had offered this one reflection to her, which she translates in marriage relationships. He says, always choose diplomacy rather than war. When I heard that, I was like, ooh, great thing to think about when it comes to relationship. Purposely find a way to be diplomatic about what's happening. Don't go to war with this person. It's not worth it. It's not the way to get through it. Find a way to find a diplomatic solution. And that partly reflects the second thing about clothing, how friendship is like clothing, because it's warm, it protects us. And friendship keeps a relationship safe and warm and loving. It guards it, because if you're a friend of a person, you want to defend them, you want to protect them, you want to be there for them. Find a diplomatic solution. And people can often treat their friends better than they treat their partner, because we're close, I'll get away with it. Well, don't. Don't try to get away with it. Bring your best self to relationship. Act like a good friend to that person. Don't get too comfortable with it. Don't get lazy about it. Don't get too triggered by patterns. I love what Friedrich Nietzsche wrote. He says, it's not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages. That's a good point. Be a good friend. Now, it's interesting, if you read the book Conjugal Love or Married Love, there's a whole chapter on reasons in marriage for apparent love, favor, and friendship. In other words, there's a chapter on what to do when you're not feeling it. Well, you got to show up anyway. You got to pretend. You got to act the part. And it says shows of apparent love and friendship. In other words, there are times when the marriage situation is cold. What's the divine solution is to fake it. Act like a loving person. Act like a friend. Treat the person with good favor, even if you don't want to. Act nice, act friendly, act kind, act loving. The result is, as it reads in Conjugal Love, friendship may even return if you do that. And love may return. You may actually have a whole lot of good that comes from that. And the reason that it's written to have apparent love, friendship, and favor is it's intended to improve people and make them accommodating. So in other words, we need to improve ourselves and we need to accommodate. Yeah, it's a good solution. And notice it makes us better, it makes us softer, it makes us more reasonable, nicer to be around. It reminds us that love is a verb. It requires action on our part. Do the stuff that creates the environment for love to be received from the Lord. I like to say that better people make better marriages. What I mean by that is better people that are working on their spiritual life, make a better relationship. And the Lord says, a greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friend. Are we willing to lay down our ego, our sense of self-importance for the sake of a higher cause, which is the relationship, the friendship, for the marriage? What are the things in me I can jettison? Well, do I think my way is most important, and do I think I'm right? I got to look at that. I think we all do sometimes, right? I'm right. Why don't you see it? Or this way is the right way. If we want success and happiness in our marriage or any relationship, we need to practice. We need to work on it. It doesn't come naturally to us. It's going to take devotion and commitment. If we stop doing it, if we get complacent and take someone for granted, which can easily happen after the early stages of love, when those warm, fuzzy feelings start to disappear. Like, well, then we need to work on it. And the way to foster that is by building friendship. So how do we do that? Well, I think one word that says a lot is respect. Show your partner respect. Act respectful. Be respectful. Spend time with them. There's a lot of busy work when you're parenting. If you're involved in the throes of parenting children, then you're going to have to be intentional about it. Have to set aside time. I remember talking to people that hadn't had a date in like 8 years. They're raising children. Like, you haven't been out together alone in 8 years? Ouch. I don't say that as a judgment. It's like, find a way. Find a way. It's important. Even if it's only enough energy to watch a show together. And do kind things for one another. Make them coffee. Make their favorite breakfast. Clear their plate for them. Do the other every good. I want you to meditate on that phrase. It says to do the other partner every good. Every good? Well, that's what it says. Every good. Let me read that passage again. The attributes of true married love are innocence, peace, tranquility, deep friendship, full confidence, and a desire in heart and soul to do the other every good. And note the results of that. And from all these things come blessedness, happiness, joy, passion, and from the eternal enjoyment of these, heavenly bliss. Sounds like it would be worth it. Those are a lot of wonderful things. But do the other every good. So when you're with your partner, say, well, is there something good I can do? Let me think about that. What is a possible thing I can do that's good, that's helpful? We don't know if we're not interested in their life, if we don't spend time together. Ask them about how they are, what's important to them. Be curious about them, and really listen. The worst is when we pretend to be present and listen, but we're really not listening. You might as well not be there. That's worse. Don't show up. Provide support, provide encouragement. That's why I say emotionally show up. If you can't show up emotionally, then take a time out and say, I need a few minutes. I'll be back with my true self, and I'll be here to listen. Laugh together, play together, have fun together. Share conversation. Many people need to converse together to feel close. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Gary Chapman's 5 love languages, or ways that people feel loved. And he talks about it as this, like you might have a different one of these in your relationship. Like you might feel loved when you spend quality time together, but your partner doesn't feel that way. They feel loved when they're touched. So he talks about quality time. Spending quality time makes this person feel loved. Or words of affirmation, saying nice things about them. Or acts of service, doing kind things for them. For some people, it's touch. For others, it's receiving gifts. So talk about it. My brother has what he calls the golden rule of these, which is do unto others as you see them doing to you. Because they do for you what they want to be done for themselves. So it's a great clue. If you have no idea, what is it they're doing for me? That's how I'll know. And marriage and good and healthy friendships are spiritual things because we're going to need spiritual qualities which only show up when we work on our spiritual life to make them work. Things like we need forgiveness, we need mercy, we need compassion, we need patience, we need kindness, we need humility. To say you're wrong, sorry, admit you're wrong, to not say half the things that you want to say, and so on. And that's why we need the Lord. The Lord flows into us with those qualities when we obey His commandments. He says, you are my friends if you do whatever I command you. So friendship is based on living the commandments as well. If you want to have a good relationship, don't steal, don't lie, don't cheat, don't covet. Honor your father and mother, honor the Lord. What raises it up to a different level is spirituality. That's what's interesting about the story of turning water to wine at the marriage feast. They ran out of wine. And I think it's interesting that it's in a marriage or a wedding that this occurs because people could certainly attest to in their wedding or in their marriage relationship, it sometimes feels like we ran out of the good stuff, right? We're feeling dry, we feel like it's sort of washed up a little bit. So sometimes we run out of wine. Sometimes it feels like the party is failing. And everyone thinks the best is served at the beginning. Like, the beginning of marriage is the best part, because all that romantic stuff and the honeymoon. But in this story, the best stuff comes later. What comes later is when two people are working on the relationship, the fruits of that can grow and get better and better. But the key to all of it, which is what Mary says to the servants, is whatever he says to you, do it. And when they do that, water is made to wine. Something ordinary is turned into something special. Something natural is turned into something spiritual. It's the Lord that can raise the level of our relationship by turning a love that might be running low or feeling dried up or losing its delight into something that's living, lasting, and superior. Like the master of the wedding feast also commented when he had tasted the wine, he said, everyone at the beginning sets out the good wine, and when the guests have well drunk, then the inferior, but you have kept the good wine until now. This is an example of how marriage can get better and better if two people are devoted to it. As they say, don't give up before the miracle. Don't quit before the good stuff shows up. And the Lord is the one that does that. When we are friends with the Lord, when we do what he commands. So let's not forget the importance of friendship. Whether we're in a relationship or not, we can cultivate those friendships that help us to know what a good relationship can be, what a good friend can be, what a good partner can be. I promise it will improve the quality of a romantic relationship as well. Ecclesiastes 4 says, 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other to succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Amen. We bow our heads for a moment.